Mic test 1, 2. Everybody good out there?
Welcome to Coach Pruitt's post-game press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will take questions. Coach?
First off, just got to kind of tip your hat to Texas A&M. They got a good football team. They were able to run the football, were able to convert third downs. They kept us from making explosive plays, eliminated really kind of our run game. They dominated the time of possession, which eliminated a lot of the opportunities for our guys. It just kind of squeezed us out, and we just couldn't get off the field on third down and couldn't create enough momentum offensively. Had negative plays on the 3 sacks that hurt us. You just have to give them credit. They got a good football team, I think when you look at this season, first thing is just really our administration and our medical staff just being able to have a season. I said it to the team in there, coming back on June the 8th, and these guys, we didn't know what we were getting into, but the courage that they had, just kind of the want to or the will to just kind of keep keeping on, I thought says a whole lot about these guys. I think there was a lot of lessons for everybody to learn during this whole time, but it's really kind of really appreciate our fans for coming and supporting us. I know it means a lot to everybody involved in the organization. And it's been an unusual year, but for these guys, there's something that they can hold their head up about. It looked like when this season started that we wasn't going to have college football. And when the momentum started, I think says a lot about our players sticking with it, and everybody in the SEC really kind of keeping college football going. So, but I'll take any questions.
Questions? We'll start with David Oven.
Jeremy, when you start assessing this season, how would you assess you guys' results on the field after 10 games?
Well, we obviously went 3-7. That's not what we want to do. It's hard to compare, from one school to another school, the circumstances around this season. I know just talking to some of my peers, there's some weeks it's been like a normal year, and there's some weeks it hadn't been, so it's one of the things I think says a lot about the players is it's kind of stuck it through. You just kind of stuck with it, like a couple of weeks ago, we had a lot of guys that hadn't practiced in 2 weeks, but yet they want to play, so, things that they didn't have control over, they hung in there. And, with our team, we didn't have many opt-outs. We didn't, our guys played hard all the way to the end. So when you look at, it's kind of like I'm talking to them, you're looking at what we need to do moving forward. You can kind of look at the team down there. I thought today, if you look at what Texas A&M did, they were able to run the football. They converted third downs. I think they were 10 for 14 on third down, created a few explosive plays in there. When we created explosive plays offensively, we scored touchdowns. But as the game went, we didn't get as many explosive plays, and it was tougher for us to score. So just kind of looking at that team and just kind of comparing of what we got to do to get on their level, something we're talking about with the players after the game.
David Pascal, then Blake Topmeyer.
Jeremy, why didn't Eric Gray play today?
He was unavailable.
Blake?
Jeremy, there was a report that came out today that stated that your program's under investigation from the NCAA and internally on allegations of recruiting and impermissible benefits. Is that accurate? And what's your understanding of where that stands?
Well, I hadn't seen no article or anything like that. But anytime in college football or college athletics, you have typical compliance stuff, and that's all I know.
Is your program continue to be interested in a bowl bid? Do you know where you stand on that? Has anything changed there?
I don't think that anything would change from our end. So we're preparing like we're going to be in a bow. If we're not, we're not. But that's the only way we know how to do is just prepare to move forward like we were.
Teresa Walker, then Gustavo.
Yeah, Coach, on Eric Gray, was he out because of injury, COVID issues? Why was he unavailable today?
The entire year, we've really, when it's come to our guys from injury to COVID or for whatever reasons, we've always said they're unavailable.
Gustavo?
Coach, third game with JT Sherrout and Harrison Bailey, each one had a touchdown. How do you assess, this final game, those last three games with those two quarterbacks playing, in the field?
Well, Harrison does a lot of really good things, okay? One thing that he's got to get past, he gets stuck a little bit. Sometimes in the throw game, just whether it's a progression read, it's a coverage read, whatever it is, there's a few times, and I think everybody sees he holds the ball a little bit, right? So just one of those things that he's got to get past, and the more reps he can get, the better he'll be at, whether it's throwing the ball away, whether it's taking a check down, just one of those things. And I thought JT probably the same thing.
Joe Rexroad, then Nick Hill.
Jeremy, trying this in a different way, was Gray or anyone else absent today because of a compliance issue?
Say it again.
Gray's absence or anyone else's absence today, was it related to a compliance issue?
Guys, I've already addressed that one time.
Nick? Nicholas Hill, are you there? All right, next question.
Hi, hear me now? All right. So, Texas A&M had around 82 plays. You guys had around 31. Just what do you think was the main factor in causing that imbalance between the two teams? Do you think it was more your defense struggling to get them off the field on third down, or was it more about your team not being able to run and sustain drives?
Yeah, I think it's probably all the above. We're 1 for 6 on third down. They're 10 for 14. They were able to run the football. We were not. So anytime you can extend drives, I mean, just the first third down of the game, right? It's 3rd and 10, we jump off sides. It's 3rd and 5, they convert it. It's another time in the game, they bolt the back. We don't peel the back, get a 3rd down. I mean, they got a really good football team with an experienced quarterback, so they're going to make some plays, right? It's the one thing that we have to do, and we've done this too many times. Is we can't beat ourselves. We got to make the other team beat us. Being 1 for 6 on third down and not establishing the run, is not good. But you look at it, we create an explosive play, and then we take a shot down the sideline. All right, for whatever reason, they don't call pass interference. So it goes back to 2nd and 10, right? So you want to get half of it back. You're going to throw an RPO, and we throw a bubble for a 7-yard loss. Excuse me. I mean, now it's 3rd and 17. It's hard to convert 3rd and 17s, right? Or we create a big play offensively by being aggressive and throwing the ball down the field. We're going to do it again, and then we sit there and we take a sack fumble by holding the ball, or take another sack. That happened 3 times where we created some explosive plays, but then we sat there and kind of shot ourselves in the foot, so to speak. Not really making them have to defend us on some stuff. If you're going to be aggressive, sometimes it's not there, right? Just take the ball, check it down, throw it away. We'll play 2nd and 10.
Ben McKee.
Coach, A&M had a lot of success with their backs out of the backfield. Seemed like they were wide open fairly often. What was the issue there?
Well, there was a couple of times that, our linebacker had the back out of the backfield. In our defense, we have mechanisms that can get you out of issues, so to speak. So if we're bringing a pressure and a linebacker's got a back and the back's really chowed out or fixing to get out, we have butch calls, we have spear calls to execute it, right? Now that sounds good setting up here, but it's something that the more experience you get, you're able to apply these things, right? And we didn't do that a couple of times. One time the back was in there and then he comes out late. We got a safety that's got the back. He thinks the back's blocking. He didn't close to him. He's going to cut on another wide receiver because he thinks the back's in protection, and the back gets out on third down. They give him the ball and outrun us, right? So a couple of things like that. These guys have always been a team that gets the back out really fast, especially into the boundary, and we had some ways to pill them. And when we did it the right way, we were fine.
A few more, David Pascal and then David Oven.
Jeremy, can you talk about DeAndre Johnson, that hands to the face before halftime in a 17-13 game?
Yeah, I didn't see it. You got them in 3rd and 14 or whatever, and they convert there on a penalty. I mean, you obviously can't hit the quarterback late. I didn't see it, so I mean, I don't know. You can't do it right.
And then, do you feel confident that you'll be the coach moving forward? I know that there have been 3 changes already in a year where people didn't think there would be any. So it's hard to take anything for granted, but do you feel confident you'll be the coach moving forward?
Yeah, I think absolutely. If you look over the first 2 years we were here, right? Where we at when we got here? I've said it before, from personnel, culture, what we're building. Okay. And I get it. 3 and 7 is not where we want to be, right? But there's one thing that I can say. I can lay my head down on my pillow every night and know that I've done everything that I could possibly do to make sure that we protected everybody in our program. I wasn't looking for a competitive edge. There's lots of things that we didn't know about. If we were going to have a COVID season again, I probably would be a little more prepared to handle it, So, but I get the business. I understand it. I look at our football team. We've got a lot of really young players on our team. Most of our team will be back. I think it's a very good indication of how they compete every week. These guys don't quit. They believe in what we're doing, and they understand that we're not that far away, So a lot of these guys, I think they choose to try to be part of the solution, not the problem. If you look at our team last year, we won, I guess, 7 out of our last 8 games. We barely won most of those games, with the exception of UAB. All of them were a 1-possession game, So those, and a lot of the guys on our team were part of that, So they understand that there's not much difference in this league. Our margin of error is very small, and we know that as a staff. So we're working hard to improve it.
David Oven.
Jeremy, you mentioned that you guys were talking about how to get on Texas A&M's level. What are some of the things that are separating teams like Texas A&M and Tennessee right now?
Well, today, what was it? It was 3rd down, right? We were 1 for 6 on 3rd down, and they were 10 for 4, right? Or 10 for 14. You know what I'm saying? They were able to run the football. We wasn't. They got some pressure on the quarterback. We didn't, and I mean, you said it right there. What was the score? It was 17-13 or 10 to whatever when we got the penalty with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go in the half. So you can't get that penalty, right? Okay. I don't care if you get close to the quarterback. You avoid the quarterback. It's 3rd and 14. They punt the football. We got a chance. At that point in time, we were moving the ball pretty good, had pretty good rhythm going. Just those little bitty things, right? I mean, you can look at it every week. There's not much difference in winning and losing in this league, okay? And the first thing you have to do is not beat yourself. You got to make the other team beat you.
We'll close with Mike Wilson. We have players outside waiting.
Yeah, Jeremy, how important was Chris Klink to your program this year in getting you guys to a place where you could play all 10 games and just the education process with COVID?
Well, if they gave away a Heisman for the medical staff across the country, my vote would be for Dr. Klink. Just being as the leader of this organization, he gave me confidence in what we were trying to get done. There were so many unknowns, and he gave the players confidence, and just and he was honest. He was honest with exactly what this virus entailed. I can't say enough really good things about our medical staff and how they help lead not just football, but all the sports here at Tennessee. Dr. Klink, he done a fantastic job.
All right, thank you. We have players coming shortly.